Hey guys, good morning to you all. How are you doing? Hope all is going well. Guys, I want to share a piece of information that came across from some clients of mine that I want to share with you guys right away. John and Laura, thanks for sending that in our chat because, you know what, I think it's such an important video that was put out there by the Wall Street News. Okay, this thing is awesome. This news is huge. It seems like on a daily basis, guys, we have, there's a ton of people out there on YouTube and social media, and they're always sharing all of the positive things that are happening in the Dominican Republic. So it seems like, a domino effect that has happened here in the Dominican Republic. From all aspects of life, you're seeing this massive growth and positive news constantly, economically, residential development, commercial development, Google coming here, NVIDIA coming here, all the massive multinational corporations all coming here and growing and thriving and calling this their home base. So it's a constant thing that you're seeing. Guys, this one might be the biggest one for the future, and I want to share it with you. That's why I want to do a video on this one. Guess what's happening, okay? The Dominican Republic has now joined the space race, and not in a small way. This is big, big news. I want you to watch this video, and then I'll chat with you right after it's done.
When Launch on Demand went looking for the place to put its new spaceport, the Dominican Republic fit the bill in terms of geography and population density. But it also turned out to be a section of the country badly in need of development, which the new facility is designed to provide.
Este mes firmamos un acuerdo histórico con la empresa estadounidense Launch on Demand, LOD Holdings, para el desarrollo de un puerto espacial comercial en Oviedo, en Pedernales.
When I saw that the president was doing something in Oviedo, which was my town, I was like, this is a dream. I never in my life imagined Oviedo to be like put in a map.
Launch on Demand wants to make Oviedo into a hub for commercial spaceflight. But first, the company has to build almost everything a spaceport needs from the ground up.
So this is the mayor of Oviedo, and so he's been working with us on all the collaboration of getting everybody together. So everything that you're going to see here, his and his staff have put it together for us. Muchas gracias.
El puerto espacial es un proyecto de vital importancia para nuestra zona. Eso va a ayudar en la economía, va a ayudar en la educación, va a poner al municipio de Oviedo, la provincia de Pedernales, la región y el país a nivel mundial en los ojos. Y de verdad que es un proyecto que le agradecemos al señor presidente Luis Abinader que lo haya puesto a la luz. Pero es un proyecto de mucha importancia que le da importancia a nuestra población, a nuestro pueblo.
This is the going to be the Silicon Valley of the Caribbean. It's going to have the power, it's going to have the talent, it's going to have the geography, and those companies that are forward enough thinking.
Guys, that was important right there. Hear what he just said, the Silicon Valley of the Dominican Republic. Now, when I visited there and watched that video, make sure you go back there. I'll share the link in the description. But I was calling it then and saying something beyond us is happening in this part of the Dominican Republic. This is next level Bill Gates kind of stuff that's happening. And now you're starting to see the news that's coming out. Have a look at the screen. That's what that little town is right now. Now, all this entire area, you've got Pedernales, you've got Cabo Rojo, you've got a massive, massive airport that's being built there as well. How does this benefit you in Cap Cana? Guys, this benefits you because the country is growing at such a rapid pace. The world is looking at the Dominican Republic for not just tourism anymore. They're going to talk about that. This was just a touristic-centered type of country. That's where the revenue came from. That has changed, and that's why you're seeing a booming and growing economy. What this reminds me of is the 1980s back in like Canada, 1970s, when it was all green and there was tons of space and people were ready to work. And they kind of hint on that as well. The motivation, people are motivated to improve their lives here. And when I say improve their lives, it's not get that Porsche and put it in their garage. What I'm saying is they're motivated to get to the next level of being able to get a home for their family, to be able to get a vehicle that can drive them to work. It's not going to be at this point we're in that golden age of the world improving. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to add that in there really quick. Let's keep watching here.
From the U.S. side are saying, wait a second, you have a surplus of power, you have land that is available, and your regulatory regime can help us do this.
Catledge sees the potential in the country.
So we have, what we are proposing is a 200 megawatt power plant. Power tends to be a very big commodity when it comes to the space industry, and nothing is bigger than how you fuel the rocket. There's other use cases for the energy, but the biggest one is to make sure that you could fuel the rocket uninterrupted without any problems. And also, if let's say they're fueling 2 or 3 rockets at the same time, we have plenty of power in order to do both.
So besides power, besides the place to keep the satellites until they're ready to go up, what else will be on this site?
So interestingly enough, water is a huge problem for space launches. So the system is called a deluge system. So if you look at a launch pad, you'll often see a water tower next to it. And what happens is whenever the rocket is about to lift off or is lifting off, there's huge gallons of water pushed onto the rocket and onto the infrastructure because it dampens the sound. It's not because of a fire, it's because it dampens the sound, because the sound of the rocket lifting off is so extreme it would shake the rocket apart. And so the water, the deluge system, dampens the sound. So once that water is used after the launch, then it's recycled and it's treated. And so when it's treated, then they have to decide what to do with it. And so we need to have ability to get potable water, so we need a desalination. We also have to have a water treatment facility because after it's done, we're going to treat it, and then we can use it for agricultural purposes. We can use it for lots of variety of purposes for the region. But water is something that we need to get in huge commodities. And basically, when Cape Canaveral was developed, they didn't size the water treatment facility for the size of rockets that are actually there. And so there's a real problem with water treatment.
When you're fully up and running, how many people will work on this site?
I would venture probably about 4,000 or 5,000.
Where are they going to live?
So right now if you go near Cabo Rojo, which is about 20 miles here, there are resorts being built, high-end resorts, because there is going to be a extension essentially of what's going on in Punta Cana. So even since our announcement, the real estate prices have gone up and up and up here because they're like, well, we're going to need this and we're going to need this. So we will have to build the infrastructure for people to live in.
Subject to the retraining or the fine-tuning, does Dominican Republic have enough skilled workers to be able to do the sort of project you're talking about? Oh. In addition, by the way, to the hotels and the seaport and the airport?
Yes. The answer is no. And I think that's anywhere you go. This country has been mainly focused on tourism. And as a result, that's where their revenue has been coming. But as they begin to transition and diversify away from tourism will always be an important part of this. But this is really diversification. Now, what I have seen in the last, couple of years is the motivation and the education is there. It really is. That's the hardest thing to sort of capture is, are you interested in this? Is this the topic? Because if you're interested in the topic, I can teach.
So he's kind of touching on this as well right here, and this is important. I've been saying this as well. When I say a booming middle class, yes, of course there's poverty, but the rate at which people are moving out of poverty into the working class is astronomical here in this country. I don't have those stats on me as I'm saying this, but I had looked them up and they are mind-blowing. So people are motivated to move themselves out of poverty into the working class. What we see in North America right now, I feel, is the opposite. What you're seeing is the rich get richer and they're motivated to buy the toys and more real estate and more stocks. But what we're seeing from the middle class is they're preferring to not work anymore, live off of Social Security and welfare, and move themselves lower in the social class into poverty. So opposite effect over here, and it's funny that he has voiced that as well.
Teach you. So it is not scaled right now where it needs to be.
But has there been any resistance or questioning from the people who live here, or are there so few people living here?
Oh, we had a number of questions. So once the announcement was made in March about this, we started seeing, what were the questions coming to us? Some of it was, well, we don't understand what this project means. Mm-hmm. And so we came here and we did a town hall, almost probably the third day after President Abinader announced it. And so we explained, look, they said, you don't have power and water. We said, yes, we know. We're going to build power and water. And they said, okay, well, we don't have the talent. And I said, yep, my next step is we're going to sign an agreement with Intec, which is the university.
And tell us about Intec.
Sure. Intec is a technical university, one of the most premier universities in the Dominican Republic. They produce some of the most talented engineers in the world, in the Caribbean, really. And when we discussed where we were going to get the talent pool from, we wanted to go to the university where that talent was. They have mechanical, electrical, aerospace, all these other engineering and disciplines, technical disciplines that we could leverage. And so we met with the provost and said, listen, we can help you train this workforce. They took it one step further. They said, we're not just going to let you train it, we're going to create a minor. So students can actually participate and learn about the space industry, because after a while, it's going to be Dominicans on console. It's going to be Dominicans that's going to be running the spaceport. We're going to help start it. We're going to help design it, fund it, keep it going. But ultimately, it's going to be the Dominican Republic and primarily the youth of the Dominican Republic that are going to be operating this.
Lorena Rosario is among the early Dominican hires working with Launch on Demand. For Rosario, who was born in the Dominican Republic and now lives in Miami, the announcement was a call to come home.
As soon as I saw the interview with President Abinader, I jumped on it and reached out, and the rest of it is going to be history.
So as you look forward to this being developed and your launch pad being somewhere right around here, what are the issues that you have to address? What are your priorities?
Right now, our main priority will be the regulation, helping the government and also the IDAC create all those regulations. And as Mr. Burton mentioned, the training of the staff and just making this whole project, work together.
For a town long described as forgotten, the promise of a spaceport is not only about rockets. It is about whether Oviedo's next generation can imagine a future closer to home, and whether the project can deliver the opportunities local residents hope it will. How do you think the lives of the people who live here will change?
It's going to change a lot. It's going to change a lot because people here don't have a...
All right, so one more quick point I want to add in here. When you guys come to Cap Cana, you come to Punta Cana, you're going to see this in Los Terrenos as well, and it's going to happen quick. What you've seen here is massive development in these areas. Punta Cana Resorts, Punta Cana Village, Cap Cana, along the ocean where you have all the all-inclusives. But guess what's happening, guys? To build all of that, the infrastructure, the real estate, the hotels, to service them, to manage them, to maintain them, to finance them, to insure them, all of that stuff, all of that ties in together to growing the middle class. So what very often you guys don't see when you come here and you visit or you live here is you don't go off into Verón, for example. Verón was recently classified as part of Punta Cana, I think days or weeks ago, where before it was a separate municipality. Now it's become part of Punta Cana. What you're seeing there, if you think the growth is fast and happening here inside the Punta Cana, Cap Cana area, if you go out there, guys, you'll be blown away. And what that is a testament to the middle class growing. Those areas are booming. All the major brands are coming there. Real estate developments through the roof there. Same thing with Higüey. Many of the people that service these areas and work in these areas live in Higüey. These areas are booming. So you're going to see this effect that is going to be, a domino effect that is going to go all the way through this country. And you're going to see that exact same thing in this town.
A good income. They live with $150 a month for a family of 4. So it's going to really change their lives. They're going to have more opportunities. The kids are going to have dreams of becoming an astronaut or, try to work with Spaceport, try to change who they envision. Usually here kids don't really know what to dream for. But Launch Demand brought a dream to Oviedo. Oviedo is going to change because of Launcher Demand.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did, because that was just an eye-opener for me. That was mind-blowing to see that the Dominican Republic is really hitting on all cylinders, okay? I think this is going to be a magical decade for the Dominican Republic. I think it's going to be a magical time for people that have lived here for so many years. And as you can see, you're taking people that were once goals and aspirations were limited. Okay, if they didn't have the ability to get into the top universities, the top schools, then they were the options were limited. But now with these massive multinationals coming here, the options are endless. And guess what they're going to be able to do? Provide for their families, provide for their loved ones, invest into real estate, invest into the economy, invest into the stock market, which is relatively new here in Dominican Republic as well. All of these things are just going to catapult and really take the Dominican Republic, as we have said in previous videos, to first world status. We're well on our way, guys. And with these sort of things happening and these sort of companies selecting the Dominican Republic, like you have if you've already invested, or like you may if you're thinking about it, then guys, sky's the limit. And I truly mean that. And literally in this video, we mean the sky and beyond is the limit, because the space race is real. We know Elon Musk is about to go public with his SpaceX. All the focus is on there, and you know what is about to come for the Dominican Republic specifically, guys. We took you out to Cabo Rojo. I did a video. If you haven't seen that video, guys, type in cash, K-A-S-H, Cabo Rojo. I'll pull up that video, guys. I firsthand went there and walked around and drove around there, stayed there, did some drone footage. Guys, it is unreal what is happening there. That was a few months back. I can only imagine what's happening there right now. Now, many of you will say, hey, Cash, you know, is there investment opportunities? Not yet, guys, and that's kind of what I dissected. For the retail investors, there's nothing. If you're a multinational corporation, if you're Kellogg's, your GM, your Ford, stuff like that, okay, multinationals, there might be these grand opportunities, just like we're seeing with the space project. Outside of that, guys, it is not a retail investor spot as of right now. There will be the multinational all-inclusive resorts there, as you can see. Different play though. But as of right now, guys, the fuel has been poured, the rocket fuel has been poured, let me say it that way, on the Dominican Republic, and we're about to join the space race over here. Okay, this is gonna be big, big, big for the economy, big, big, big for the people, and big for all of you that want to live here at some point, or you want to invest here. I think you're only going upwards. All right, guys, love where you live. Hope all's well. Please remember, make us your first phone call. We bring the trifecta, Las Arenas, Cap Cana. We bring you San Domingo as well. Guys, we want to bring you the best of the best, and we let you pick what is best for yourself, your money, or your family. Love where you live, guys. Hope you're doing well out there, and talk to you soon.